Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a couple of videos for you here today from The Wall with modern women who ended their marriages thanks to impulsive decisions and terrible ideas. This is going to be a banger. Don't forget to leave your comments, and let's jump right into the video.
I knew that when I started TikTok, I was going to have haters and people that didn't agree with what I was doing or would support the idea. And I'll admit I've probably made many mistakes and posted things I shouldn't have posted. I never thought that it would be the people that were nearest.
Take a look at the header for this video. I'm going to regret this, she says, and yet she is about to make one of what must be many bad decisions by making this video for us.
And dearest to my heart that would have the most judgment and hate. I started TikToks because, well, for two reasons. One is I wanted to get more comfortable with having my face and voice on video for business. But two, I lost the person I loved for so long, and I needed to find a way, an outlet.
This is a poor attempt at a setup for sympathy. She started making TikTok videos because she wanted the attention and got validation from likes and subscribes. Now she's just trying to make it all about her because she thought that she was better than everyone else and is paying the price.
To try and heal. And there's so many people out there in the TikTok world that are going through what I'm going through. And their videos and their messages really related and resonated with me. And so it felt like a good path for me. It felt like a good way of journaling what I was going through. The struggle of losing the person you were with your entire life.
When these women talk about the struggle, it usually revolves around relentlessly blaming the men in their lives in a vain attempt to avoid accountability at all costs. Nobody's buying these crocodile tears, madam.
And everyone that was connected to him, including your children and your extended family. I thought that my divorce would be amicable and we would be friends and we would get along. And we did when he had someone else in his life. But when I did, we didn't. He's asked me not to reach out to his family, and he's asked for no contact.
One thing about divorces is if the family and children are siding with the husband, then you know the wife not only screwed up, but she screwed up so badly that nobody is willing to comfort her. That's incredibly rare nowadays. Everybody usually just goes and supports the woman.
For a long time now. And I've done my best to do that, even though she does not.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
This issue clearly reflects one thing: the lack of responsibility in women. Responsibility is kryptonite for women, and this becomes evident when they adopt behaviors without questioning them, simply because they see another woman doing the same. They act without thinking about the consequences for their friends or family. When your content revolves around exposing personal situations that affect others, conflicts are inevitable.
Openly bashing your significant other on TikTok is completely unacceptable behavior. There was a time when private issues were kept private. Now if the husband does so much as forget to sweep the floor one day, it's grounds for public shaming on a global scale. I don't think these women are worth marrying or having relationships with in the first place. If your woman does this, guys, that is a green light to leave, as far as I'm concerned.
Not everyone is willing to have their life aired on social media. And, as usual, the narrative always starts the same way. I'm the victim. My ex is the abuser, and it's all his fault. But those who know you, who know the truth, only see that your so-called healing process is actually a smear campaign against your ex. Brothers, if even your own children turn their backs on you because of this need for attention on the internet, maybe the problem isn't your ex or his family. When everyone around you disagrees with you, it's time to question whether you're truly the victim.
These women are incapable of taking accountability in today's world, man. Even if they pretend to take some of the blame, they are very quick to point out that it was society's fault, or a random ex's fault, or global warming's fault. They will always have an excuse at the ready to downplay their involvement in their own failures.
I thought that I was walking away because that's what he needed. I do no contact because that's what he needs. I don't reach out to the family that I was connected to for 28 years because that's what they need. I changed my TikTok to not be so focused on the negative and the tears. And I promised myself that I would not shed another tear.
We all know that's impossible. Modern women cannot pass up the opportunity to cry if it means that they're able to get something out of it. She will shed tears for anything from trying to get out of cheating to being caught shoplifting $3 worth of hand sanitizer.
And here I am. So I've decided to switch my TikToks to be proud of myself, to be proud of how hard I've worked on my body, to be proud of what I've done, to show the happiness that I'm finding. And it just brings more hate.
What's funny to me, man, is how these women will go on these videos and act like they only deserve positive comments for their crap videos. They have no idea that the internet is full of jerks, it's full of trolls, edgelords since the beginning, and yet they still think that they're so perfect that they are above negative commentary. Guys, I could come out here and release, cute dog videos and there would be people mad in the comments. That's just the internet for you.
So if you don't like what I'm posting, don't watch it. I see it pop up. I know you're watching. Don't fucking watch it. Don't tell me you want me to be happy so that you can give your heart truly to someone else. And then go around and tell half-truths and lies about me and gossip about me because you want to maintain your narrative.
This is the equivalent of a spoiled child screaming at people to leave them alone, but if you're going to post anything on the internet, you need to be prepared for haters on the internet. This is one of the most basic fundamentals of making content.
We will never be friends.
Why do women think that a long, awkward pause with a sad statement at the end is somehow emotional? It just looks like she's trying to think of something to say, but she can't think of anything. So instead of deleting the video, she just sits there, unable to come up with basic words.
I don't know. Do I keep posting? Do I not? I continue to let you control me and make my decisions for me. And it just tells me that I'm not any stronger than I was before, and I still haven't healed.
It's amazing how modern women can be strong and independent and initiate their own divorces to start a healing era, apparently, that involves going on a journey to find her most true and authentic self, only to double back and say that all of the men are bad in the world and that, we have complete domination over her life. It's so crazy.
Maybe eventually you will realize that I truly did love you. To be the best parents for our kids is not the way it should be.
Stop it. Get some help.
28 years of marriage, and in the end, they end up as enemies. Who would have thought? What's curious is that it seems everyone is on the husband's side. It's hard to point fingers.
They were married for almost 3 decades, guys. You'd think after that amount of time, they would be able to weather most storms, but it looks like her toxic content destroyed whatever goodwill he had for her. Good riddance, if you ask me.
But when even the children take a side, and that side isn't the mother's, there must be some truth to it. Responsibility, as always, is kryptonite for many women. As I said before, not everyone wants their personal life to become a public spectacle. Not everyone wants to be part of a narrative where they're painted as the abuser or part of that "poor me" story. Some people prefer to close chapters in private, far from TikTok and millions of people entertained by what should remain your private life. Not everyone wants their story to become a content platform to feed someone else's ego.
People's unquenchable thirst for drama has been made worse thanks to modern women and their endless complaining and shaming of their husbands and significant others. And it's really not going anywhere, even though more often than not, this is the end result.
To all the fearless men out there, listen up. When I went up to my husband and I told him I wanted a divorce, do you know what he said to me? He said, Revi, I thought you would never go through with it. I was completely dumbfounded by his response. For so many years, I begged, I pleaded, I cried, I screamed, I yelled. I don't know how much more clear and more loud I was with him to tell him that I wasn't happy, that this marriage wasn't working.
Modern wives think that it's the man's job to provide them with everything, and that includes happiness, but it's impossible to make them happy when they insist on living their lives as miserable as possible.
And he didn't listen. So finally, I realized that I had to take care of myself, and I took myself out of this bad marriage. So guys, if your wife and your woman is telling you in 20 different ways she's not happy, I would make sure to listen to her. Because if you keep ignoring her, I promise you one thing, she will leave you.
Even if a man says all of the right things, does all of the labor, and remembers to keep the toilet seat down, a modern woman will always find an excuse to not only complain, but also blame him for not doing enough, even when he's already doing everything.
When a man responds that way, it's because he's had enough. He's tired of the complaints, of his partner's constant unhappiness. Nowadays, marriage seems to revolve around keeping the woman happy, but the statistics speak for themselves. 80% of divorces are filed by women. A man can be carrying the weight of the household, covering all the expenses, enduring disrespect, and still, he won't be the one to ask for a divorce.
The notion of happy wife, happy life is such a dumb idea to me, man. Nobody is saying that you shouldn't treat your spouse with respect, but at the same time, there's no sense in bending over backwards to try and quote-unquote keep her happy, because she'll just find an excuse to resent you for doing that anyway.
But when a woman feels unhappy, even without clear reasons, she will be the one to leave. That's why, if her husband responded in that manner, he was likely exhausted from hearing complaints and just wanted to leave it all behind. Now, let's take a look at some comments. When I told my husband I wanted a divorce, he said he never saw it coming. Years of begging, crying, being miserable, left him 18 years and no regrets. Anyone in the lesser position of balance, they need to be supported/celebrated. But ultimately, the one in power is the one who needs change.
That makes absolutely zero sense. How can a woman not be in a position of power when she's the one making things harder? She's the one who's initiating the divorce, and she's the one getting the alimony and child support. That's nothing worth supporting or celebrating.
There are women who won't listen to unhappy husbands also. Sometimes people are doing the best they can, showing love the best they can, but it still isn't enough for the other person. People's needs change. This algorithm too accurate. My mom out of nowhere divorced my dad last year after 38 years, and he still has no idea why. It was a surprise for me and my siblings.
We're starting to see this more and more. A wife will divorce her husband after 20 to 30 years of marriage, typically after the kids are grown and moved out. It comes as a blindside to the husband, and usually it's just a legal way of saying that she was just using the man for his resources.
Being a woman in our 50s, post-divorce, empty nesters, some of you may have even gone through health crisis. I know I did. I had to go through breast cancer last year, passing of both my parents. I mean, shit, man. And now menopause. It's called life. It's called life, and life is worth living. And all I can tell every single fearless woman out there is don't give up.
Such words of wisdom for somebody who's trying to use her menopause to garner sympathy from an internet full of strangers.
Don't give up. Days that are bad, they'll be bad, but the good news is that the sun always comes up the next day. It always starts fresh, new, and again. So you're worth fighting for. You're worth loving. You're worth giving. You're worth being. So you just take good care of yourself. Take all the time in the world. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get better, get stronger, get healthier, get happier. Put yourself in the front of the line. Put yourself at the top of the list.
The problem with that sentiment is that women have been putting themselves in front of the line by initiating pointless divorces in the name of happiness. Their selfishness and their posturing is on display for the whole planet.
Learn to say no to others, because that means you're saying yes to you. What?
She's alone and facing the wall. While the message might sound motivational, the reality is that if something happens to her tomorrow, she won't have any support. Everyone makes their own decisions, but many times those choices stem from an unwillingness to support their husband or do things for him. This often happens in their 50s, right when the husband is nearing retirement.
Imagine building a life with a woman for several decades. You supported her, gave her a home, children, protection, and the second you need something from her, all of a sudden she's unhappy and the only cure is no-fault divorce.
That's when they decide to take 50% of everything because they deserve to be happy. As the woman in the comment mentioned, not even her daughter or ex-husband understand why the divorce happened after 38 years together. She simply didn't want to keep taking care of her husband. She decided to leave and live her life the way she wanted. Many women make this choice, but when reality hits, be it illness, loneliness, or financial struggles, they expect their children or family to step in. They had a husband willing to care for them, but they chose to leave him.
That's exactly right. If a man's wife got sick or injured, he'd be doing everything he could to take care of her. But if a man catches the flu and is sick for 3 days, the wife immediately starts to shame him and call him unmanly because he's bedridden for 3 days.
When I went on a girls' trip to Europe, my boyfriend of 3.5 years packed up our entire apartment behind my back, moved to California without me. The lesson I learned: never compromise what you want in your life for your partner. In that relationship, I lost part of who I was. My independence and free thinking left my body. Small example of this in the relationship: my boyfriend would never let me get a dog. And 2.5 years into the relationship, when he finally did let me, he told me I could pick out any dog I wanted for my birthday.
She sacrificed her entire relationship for a week's worth of drunken debauchery with a gaggle of alpha widows. She disrespected him, disobeyed him, and now she's single because he wouldn't tolerate her crap anymore.
I chose the dog I wanted, a rescue Chihuahua baby boy. When we got there to get him, I wanted to name him Oliver. My boyfriend decided to tell me in that moment, actually, unless you don't let me name the dog, we're not getting him. So his name ended up being Kukulkan. Call him Kook for short. Which my baby boy Kook, who I still have, is absolutely perfect. Thinking back, though, it was such a control tactic. He had to have the final say about the dog.
That man had every right to refuse getting a dog in his apartment. It's possible it wasn't big enough. He didn't want to find dog crap in his shoes or his stuff chewed up, and knew his girlfriend wasn't responsible enough to take care of it on her own.
Tinted moisturizer is so beautiful. On a larger scale, I compromised what I desired in my long-term future.
Oh, hell no!
It's curious to hear someone say, never compromise what you want for your partner when you went on a solo trip to Europe with your friends. Isn't that, in itself, not compromising anything you wanted? This is the problem with so-called empowered women. They do whatever they want, even while in a relationship. Any opinion or disagreement from their partner is seen as an imposition.
Oftentimes, guys, when a man gets into a relationship with a modern woman, he's not getting someone who will actually respect him. He's getting a spoiled child who never grew up. She'll throw all sorts of fits when she doesn't get what she wants. It's just made more terrifying because she's legally able to drive a car.
So, if you don't want a man to have a say in what you do, why be in a relationship with one
He
of
would talk often about not wanting to get married or having kids. After 3 years together, his biggest life goal was to end up on a deserted island alone. I remember telling my family I didn't want to get married or have kids. That was never the case. I was doing it to appease him. Animals. I want dogs running around, sleeping in my bed, giving me unconditional love every day. I want it all. A career, family, marriage.
It seems to me that if you wanted a family, then you wouldn't be wasting your time or money on a girl's trip to Europe. You would be focusing on trying to make things work with your man.
Someone who takes part in my passions and wants to build an empire and family together as my biggest supporter and partner. I want to be an independent thinker, living the life I desire without stipulation. I let my independent, badass self fade into the shadows of the life that he wants me. It was evident he was at the forefront of his mind. He made the decision to pack up our apartment and move to a different state without even discussing it with me.
And you went to Europe going against his wishes and disrespecting him in the process. What you're talking about are called consequences of your actions, madam.
It was clear he was also at the forefront of my mind, sacrificing what I wanted and who I was for that relationship. Instead of first place, I sat back seat with a participation trophy in my own headspace. Never let yourself fade into the rear view. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. And remember, you're never...
Then marry a woman or an effeminate man who lets you be the man in the relationship.
I don't see how this woman could have always prioritized her man first when she openly disrespected him by going to Europe when he expressed his discomfort. She's totally lying for clout.
Just hearing phrases like, "I want to be an independent thinker living the life I desire without conditions," makes it clear why that man packed his bags and left. Living with a woman like that is hell. You'll never have stability or leadership. When women take charge in the home, everything eventually falls apart. This man endured 3 years before walking away because he couldn't take it anymore. Maybe at first, he wanted to build something with her, but her plans didn't include stability or commitment.
Modern women will never understand that if a man is interested in a woman, he's willing to go through a lot of things to make it work. But if it gets to the point where he shuts down, then it's because the relationship really did wear him down.
This is the barrier many men face today. They see how some women are looking for a man who's little more than a servant. Someone who says yes to everything, funds all their desires, but has no authority. For that, it's better to stay single. Remember, brother, responsibility without authority isn't love.
I just walked in. I mean, the couches are gone. There's a chair, I guess. TV's down.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if this man only took the stuff that he paid for and she's going to try and make it seem like he's the bad guy for not wanting to deal with her anymore.
Kitchen table is gone. Oh, how nice. He left the cats. I mean, okay. No pots and pans. No utensils.
You have to hand it to the guy for leaving the cats behind. He knew his ex was going to need to be in some long-term company, and the cats would be the only ones willing to stick around.
Literally no bowls or plates. I have glasses. There's some cooking utensils, I guess. This actually might be my fucking spare keys for my truck, because he took my truck keys. I mean, I guess I have lettuce. Who knows how long that's been there.
There's a lot of context missing from this video, but I personally think that it's safe to surmise that if this woman is recording everything in such a petty manner, I think we know why this man left her.
I have some food, but no way to cook anything, so that's great. This room, I don't know, the cats threw up on the floor or something, but he took everything from this room, except cat stuff. I mean, not bad. Okay. This room is just fully empty.
Instead of dealing with her relationship drama on her own and behind closed doors, she thought it would be a smart idea to shame her ex-boyfriend, and she honestly expects us to think that she's the victim. It's just so crazy to me, man.
Another TV missing. And then we have the bathroom. Oops, I mean, shower curtains. Like, okay. A mop. Some cleaning supplies, I guess.
I just came from his POV LMAO. I love the algorithm. My man's chose peace. He was like, I bought that, I bought that, I bought that.
Why should that man leave her anything that wasn't hers? If he paid for everything, he has every right to take back what is his, and she can be the one to start over.
I had a friend that went to work and her ex moved out while she was at work and took everything, even her scale. Faced with tears of joy, what do y'all do to these men that they move out when you're gone? Depending on the states, P***s him off by filing for common law divorce and take half of everything. You went on vacation without him? I would do the same. Honestly, if we don't vacation together, you can go find someone else. I think he made the right choice.
So she went on vacation without him, or against his permission, and she just expected him to do nothing but sit around like a good boy. Like, this is so stupid. So she got a taste of what happens when a self-respecting man gets disrespected by the woman that he trusts.
Broke up with ex a few months ago. Met a guy off TikTok. Moving in with him. Got his initials tatted.
So I'm not going to do a story time, but I'll just clarify some details for you guys so that there's less confusion. So basically, the ex that moved out, him and I broke up literally 7 months ago. We just continued to live together because we were both on the lease and neither of us wanted to leave. So no, I did not go on vacation without my spouse, or I did not go on vacation to cheat. Nothing like that. I literally went on vacation to visit my family.
That excuse makes no sense. Why would you break up with a man but still live with him? There's obviously something that she's not telling us.
My ex and I were already broken up. I did know he was moving out, but he was supposed to be moving out after I had gotten back. He just decided to move out early. So no, cheating was not the reason for the breakup. We broke up because I'm kind of toxic. I'm kind of controlling. So no, I'm not a landlord. The video from a few months ago of the freeloader was at a buddy's house that I helped clean. And then in response to all of the other videos on my TikTok, I did meet a new guy.
She openly admitted to being a toxic, controlling girlfriend, so it looks like she found herself a simp to control. I'll give her about 3 months before he ends up moving out as well.
Through TikTok, but that's not the reason why we broke up again. So yes, there is a new guy, and yes, I am going to be moving into his house. And then for everyone that's been either messaging or commenting saying take the D out of your bio, or is the D for your truck? No, the D is not for the Denali. The tattoo, the D was not for the Denali. The D is solely because the new guy's name is Dayton, so it starts with a D. And that is the one and only time that I will announce the relationship.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch!
These women have absolutely no common sense. They will literally tattoo an initial of a guy's name onto their body after knowing him for 3 months. You can't make this stuff up, guys.
You're not super toxic. You're just crazy. The worst part is how she tries to play the victim when, after leaving this relationship, she immediately got involved with another man, to the point of tattooing his initials. Responsibility is kryptonite for women. That new man should be scared because this is looking bad right from the start. At least she admits she's toxic, and that already says a lot about the hell her ex must have lived through. To the men criticizing him for taking the furniture and things he bought.
If he paid for them, he owned them, so they're his to take. There is no other side to this argument. Not like there's any point. The only men coming to her defense are simps anyway.
Let me tell you something. Leaving everything behind so another man can enjoy it is plain stupidity. If you don't have kids with that woman, there's no reason to start from scratch while someone else reaps the benefits of what you built. Let the new guy handle that problem. It's no longer your concern. So kudos to this man for not letting himself be used as a simp by this woman.
A man can only take so much before he's had enough, and once he does, nothing can change his mind. So he has no problem ensuring that his ex-girlfriend is without a couch and a couple of free TVs. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.